Right, I will now show you how to make a trace for jerkbait fishing. It's quite handy to have quite a stiff trace for jerkbait fishing, because otherwise you will see that with every tug of the rod tip, yeah, you will get tangled. The kind of a supple wire would get tangled with the hooks of the jerkbait. So it has to be stiff. This stuff is 150 pounds breaking strength. It's semi-stiff, like it's not really like completely rigid, but it's stiff enough, and I'll show you how to make it. You make a little eye. You put in a good quality snap. It really has to be a good quality snap. If you use inferior snaps, like, you will A, lose fish, and B, you will lose baits. Like, it will eventually break, because with every tug there's an awful lot of pressure coming onto that snap that holds the bait. So it has to be a good quality snap. So you put that in the eye, and you close the eye like that. A couple of turns, 3 or 4 turns is fine. And you cut off the protruding bit of wire. That's one side done. You do the same thing at the other end. And you put, again, a good quality swivel in it. These swivels are something like 150 pound breaking strength. So that's really what you need. You put it in the eye. You do the same thing as with the snap, really. Again, a couple of turns. That's fine. Now, that's all. There's only one little detail, and I think that's quite important. There's always a little bit of steel wire sticking out here. Now, it is possible that your line, your braided line that you're using, gets stuck behind that, and which will cause the line to break, and of course you don't want that. So what I do, there's 2 things you can do actually. You can put a bit of shrink tube over it, you know, the tube that you put over it, you heat it and it shrinks. That would do the job. But what is even nicer, and I've prepared one here, what's even nicer is when you use a little bit of araldite, 2 component, or any other component glue, and you make a nice little smooth blob that covers that little sticky out piece of line. Now, in this, if you do it this way, there's no way the line can ever get stuck behind anything at all. That's, for me in any way, that's the perfect jerkbait trace. So it's that simple, really. You've done it in, what, a minute? And sometimes after you caught a fish, it might be slightly bent, but it's always very simple to straighten it again. As you can see in the video, I was using a fluorocarbon trace for the jerkbaiting, and it really is very simple to make. What you do, you take the line through the snap, and you put 2 sleeves or crimps, and you crimp it either with pliers like this, not too hard, of course. You don't want to cut through it. There is a special pliers that are actually meant to use for crimps. It works like this. You put it in that little slot here and you crimp. But most of the time I just use that one. On the other side, just like you've seen with the metal jerkbait trace, I make another little blob of super glue, so the line doesn't get caught behind the sticky out bit there. So completely smooth, same idea. Make sure you use very good components, very good quality snaps, and very good quality swivels. It's really, really vital, because there's an awful lot of strength or a tension on the trace with every time you jerk your bait, like, so it has to withstand thousands of jerks, really. So make sure you use top components.